Okay. As I prepared for this dreaded senior speech, I faced a problem that only really lucky people have to face. I realized that I've never really had a singular, earth-shattering, or devastating event happen in my life yet. However, as I thought back on my long 18 years of life, I realized that I have a pretty unique story, and I've learned many really valuable lessons, one of which I'd like to share with you. So, growing up, I was homeschooled. I think a lot of people think they understand what homeschooling is, but let me tell you what it actually is, what it's like. Yes, I spent a lot of time at home, and yes, my best friend was my mom, but homeschooling was incredible. I grew up going to a community homeschool group that became like family to me. The interesting thing about these homeschooler kids was that everyone befriended each other. I had a vibrant social life because I learned from a young age that someone's appearance didn't make them off limits to friendship. For instance, I was best friends with some of the most punk kids you've ever seen in your life. Fishnet tights, dark makeup, pounds of chains, and neon hair were commonplace. I came to understand that these same kids who were often labeled as rebellious or strange actually loved fantasy novels and playing instruments and just wanted to climb trees and hang out with their friends. Despite their extreme appearance, I learned that they had worth and were good people. As I grew, I went to other homeschool groups and found the same network of inclusion. I was close friends with bold, opinionated kids from ages 9 to 18 who were Black, white, Hispanic, Jewish, atheists, Scientologists, Christians, Democrats, Republicans, able-bodied, and special needs. The closer I got to these people, the more I was able to look past our differences and really connect as friends. On the flip side, I've learned that it's really hard to dislike people up close. In school and in life, I think it's really easy to not like people if they're different. Yes, in the classical sense of, oh, they look different than me, but also if they act differently. When others are strange or even rude, it can rightfully make us uncomfortable and offend us, making it difficult to view them as people with real feelings and experiences just like us. So it's easier to just say that someone's annoying or stupid or just ignore them altogether. However, let me tell you, you're missing out. Let me tell you a story of an experience I had. So 2 years ago, I was at a summer youth camp. I was a leader over these girls who were around 12 to 13 years old. I had never met any of the girls in my group, and all of them were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, except for Haley. Haley was quiet, standoffish, with long, greasy hair that covered her scowling face. She wore dark, baggy clothes and was quick to snap back with a cutting comment to any adult who crossed her path. Except for me. I don't know why, but Haley liked me and would let me hug her and braid her hair. One of the days I was watching the girls, and Haley's weekly youth leader came up to me and said, "Is Haley giving you any trouble?" And I was like, "Of course not, she's a sweetheart. What do you mean?" The youth leader proceeded to tell me how Haley was one of the most difficult and mean girls she had ever met. She was defiant and angry all of the time. She resisted the leaders, her parents, and the friendship of the other girls. She told me that Haley had been having a rough time and just needed somebody who could unconditionally love her. Now this is the good part. Later that evening, I pulled Haley aside and asked if we could chat. As we cuddled on the couch, I asked her what was going on in her life. This sweet 12-year-old girl broke down in my arms and told me that she knew that she was mean. She knew that she was difficult, but she was just having a really hard time. Her parents were divorced, her grandpa had just passed away, and she didn't have many friends. She was aching inside, and so she put on this tough exterior to shield herself from the world. However, I could see the light in her. Now, this is the interesting part. Haley's behavior was inexcusable. She needed to learn how to deal with her issues in a non-destructive way. No excuses. However, once I understood her situation and truly saw her, I could hold her accountable while fully loving her. This is the only environment where true growth and healing can occur. We talked for hours, and eventually Haley had a smile on her tear-stained face and a resolution to fight her pain with kindness rather than bitterness. Now, there are lots of Haleys out there, people who act in ways that are honestly not okay. However, underneath, most people are just trying to deal with pain and protect themselves. As I have genuinely tried to understand others' stories, I have allowed myself to love people and see their humanity. Regardless of their actions, I have felt less resentment toward people who have hurt me. I've gained wisdom from seeing life from new perspectives, and my joy has increased exponentially. I encourage us all to take time to observe, listen, and understand people before we judge them. And I promise you'll be surprised with what you find. Thank you. Okay, shout outs. I'll be really fast. Henry Morris, thank you for driving me home from school in junior year like every day. I don't know how I would have done that year without you. Natalie Valvo, thank you for being so spirited and kind to me during my time here. Miss Hagee and the classes she's taught. Miss Hagee, you are an incredible mentor because you always are in my corner, but you manage to hold me to a high standard at the same time. AP Psych and AP US History are unforgettable, and everybody in those classes, I love you guys. Mr. Flamini, thank you for caring and encouraging us to look at life from new perspectives. The math department, I am sorry, but thank you for your patience. James, thank you for being one of my most genuine friends. I love our conversations and I can't wait to freak out about the snow when we're both in Utah for college. Any other friends of mine, just know I appreciate you. Eli Hatch, thank you for your love and constant support. I adore you and I'm proud of how we've worked to make each other better. I love you. To all my sisters, you are my best friends. I love you more than anyone, and please do not change ever. Mom and Dad, I can't express how much I love you both. I trust you with everything, and I'm so grateful for all that you've done for me over the years. I am going to miss our late night conversations and our daddy-daughter dates, but I'm only a flight away. I love you and thank you.